Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving back into the Pirate Alliance Kizuna Clash vs Magellan, the 6+, with some booster teams to help take this event down. Now, if you guys are some crazy cookies, some crazy cats, some crazy cucumbers, you might have done some summons over on the Shiryu banner. You might have got lucky, picked up Shiryu, picked up some units. I myself ended up doing a few more multis, was having a bit of a rough weekend, and look, it's not healthy, but it is my escape, and I did a couple multis, managed to walk away with both Shiryu and Dole. So in today's video, I will be including both of them on my teams. These are pretty much my teams that I'm going to use to sort of farm through it with my assists and stuff like that to build up as many tickets as possible. And hopefully, if you guys did summon these units, or if you have some alternatives for the batch, these teams might help you out. So let's head over to the Kizuna Clash crew. Now, if you guys didn't do any summons at all, I do have two particular Kizuna Clash videos out right now. One that uses Shiryu as a friend captain, and one that doesn't use Shiryu at all. So make sure you go check them out if you guys are struggling. I don't have Vasco shot, but that's okay. I'm not going to chase that unit. I'll let him come to me in the future. And for now, I'm just going to find a replacement for him. But on the quick variation, Powerhouse, Free Spirits, and Fighters get all the good stuff. On turn 2, your friend captain gets stunned, and then you get a captain swap to your middle right. There's 3 turns of defense up, and then your captains get special bind. Now, if you have Shiryu yourself, you can just activate his invisibility mechanic, and basically you bypass all of this. Like, you don't have to worry about the special bind, you don't have to worry about the stun, you don't have to worry about the captain swap. Plus, he goes through defense, so you're going to be fine. Literally just tapping with your 2 Shiryu captains. But if you're missing Shiryu, obviously you're going to have to deal with this. Really good character for this is the 5+ Arlong. But on the final stage, after level 31, because that's what these teams are designed for. Now, this is a regular 10-star. Not a lot of people are going to go past 30, or if they do, it's only going to be around like 35 to 40. So don't stress, you're not going to need too much damage output. You just kind of have to get around everything that's going on. Now, there are 2 different variations after level 30, when you're above HP 50%, or if you're below 50% HP. So, basically they're very similar. There's just one added line difference. There's the regular blowaway stuff, percent damage reduction, and then the enemy is weak to Powerhouse. Now, if you're above 50%, you have to deal with 3 turns of special use limit 1 time. That's the big difference. Otherwise, you just have to deal with all this bottom stuff here that says no normal attacks only, and 90% attack down with Psi, Int, or Wano orbs. All other orbs will be unfavorable for 6 turns. Top row gets bound, bottom row gets bound. You get a full body recovery slots, which will obviously be unfavorable, 2 turns of paralysis, normal attacks only, and full immunity except for defense down. So, as you can see, they really want you to use Shiryu, obviously. Shiryu is going to bypass the paralysis. He's going to bypass the bind on the top there as well. Plus, he can remove the unfavorable orb situation there too. So that way those recovery orbs will actually become favorable. So the team I put together looks a little bit like this. As I mentioned, on turn 2, if you guys don't have Shiryu, this Arlong is absolutely exceptional. Now, I'm still going to utilize this Arlong because he does a HP cut, which works great because you do want Shiryu to be at low HP. So that way you can get the auto proc with his special, plus you can also get below 50% HP. So you don't have to deal with that extra special limit debuff, which is very, very annoying. On turn 1, we want to activate the double Shiryu captain action. That's going to work really, really nicely. So that way you bypass literally the paralysis and all of those nasty abilities that I mentioned earlier. I am bringing Dole, obviously, getting more points here. Dole is completely replaceable with Verse Blackbeard, though. So if you guys have a Verse Blackbeard, you can just put Verse Blackbeard in her spot. The reason Verse Blackbeard works basically in her spot is because Blackbeard is an attack booster. He cuts your HP with his Verse ability. He doesn't remove Bind, but at the end of the day, like, we don't really care about that. But he also removes Resilience, so like I said, if you guys have Verse Blackbeard, he's going to be a straight replacement for Dole on pretty much all of these teams. He's going to cut your HP, Dole's going to cut our HP, so that way on turn 3, we're well below 50%. We're going to get the auto procs of the Shiryu captains. We can actually utilize our Shiryu on turn 2 if we want to, if we need more damage there. Luffy's going to get around the bind, and then we have a conditional boost and an orb boost in Rush Kaido. No crazy super tandem shenanigans, no final tap shenanigans here. Literally just sort of raw power, because again, I just want to sort of get this done. I'm not looking to sort of blow away and do as much damage as I possibly can, as it is just a regular 10-star Kizuna. We have an attack boost with Luffy, you have orb boost with Kaido, conditional boost with Kaido, sorry, base stats with Luffy because Dole's our attack booster. Again, if you have Blackbeard, he's going to be your booster. And then Shiryu is doing all of his Shiryu type things. On to the second fight now, we come up against the Int variation. And Strength, Psi, and Int characters get all the good stuff. On Battle 2, you get Poison slots, Lock slots, and Resilience. So you are going to have to either remove the poison to remove the poison slots, or you can just sort of burst through it and then remove the poison on the final stage, which will rotate those poison slots. 5 turns of resilience on turn 2 as well, and then on the final stage, the one thing that changes between being level or HP above 50% or below 50% is the enemy will put up a territory. So you'll see that there's a territory there. If you're above 50%, if you're below 50%, you don't have to worry about the territory. There's the regular blow away stuff, percent damage reduction. Then on the final stage, you get 3 turns of progressive poison. This poison will rack up pretty quickly, and because you can only do 90% of the enemy's HP, you are going to have to take 2 turns, so you are going to have to tank that poison, so I would highly recommend removing it. Your captains get 8 turns of special blind. Everyone gets 2 turns of special reverse. It's normal attacks only, full immunity except defense down, and then you get a 1.1 attack boost for 3 turns. So this means you have to either carry an attack boost in to the final stage, or use something like Blackbeard to increase that. After 1 turn, you're going to take 99% of your HP, you get normal attacks only, and then the enemy puts up damage nullification. Now, I'm unsure if you delay, this will actually work. So if you use something like Luffy, for example, you could delay the enemy, and then it technically hasn't been 1 turn for them, and they may not put all this up. But look, we'll test that once it comes out. I still think they will, and I would go in with the assumption that they will, and then tweak the team later. But that is an option for you guys there. So obviously running double Shiryu, utilizing the Shiryu captain action allows you to bypass the the special bind on your captains, as well as getting around some special reverse. But the special reverse hits everyone, so you do want to try and get around that. Again, if you guys don't have Dull, a really good replacement for Dull is Blackbeard. Dull's removing the resilience on this team. Use the versatility of Blackbeard and you're doing the same thing, and that way you're still getting your HP cuts to get nice and low. To get around the poison, I am obviously using one of my Shiryus. He's going to remove the poison there. That works out really, really nicely. But if you guys don't have a way of removing the poison, then you can just burst on turn 2. We could probably use the super swap of Kid Killer, utilize the Kid Killer special, and then try and burst through it with the poison sockets. And that way you can sort of just kill that way. But, I don't know how much damage those poison sockets are going to do, so I'd probably recommend removing them. Plus, you could always use something like Shiryu to... if you have, say, Blackbeard as your captain, you're missing Shiryu, you could use a Shiryu special there, get the auto proc Shiryu on the final stage, and that way you're still getting the set target. But on the final stage, we are getting the auto proc of Shiryu and then the special of Shiryu. So that way you have the defense down, you have the set target, and you have the increased damage taken. You're also removing the poison, you're getting the chain boost. Kaido's giving you an orb buff, which is really, really nice. Plus, he's then also giving you a conditional boost as well. Kaido actually works really, really well under this Shiryu. It's actually ridiculous. Kid Killer are your color affinity booster. They're also a chain boundary unit too, which is great. They're going to give color affinity to Sanji, and then with Sanji, he's the one that's going to remove the damage nullification on the second turn. So utilizing Sanji, you can just get bypass that. Luffy's going to obviously give him base stats, which is going to make him hit really, really hard. You are going to lose out on a an attack boost though, because you're using Dole on turn 2. You're carrying that into the final stage. You're not going to have that attack boost, but at the end of the day, it's 10% damage, you should be fine. Plus, Shiryu and his invisibility state actually bypasses damage nullification, so there's a chance you probably don't even need Sanji at all, and you can just use someone else that can give you a crazy good attack boost, or crazy good buff. Finally, we have the Dex fights, and for the Dex variation, Powerhouse Fighters and Strikers get all the good stuff. On turn 2, there is a barrier for 6 perfects, plus you get 3 turns of Super Burn, and all orbs get turned to block orbs. Now, obviously, you could use Shiryu here to bypass this perfect barrier, but you are still going to take the burn damage, so you do need to be very mindful of that. On the final stage, after level 30, because that's what these teams are designed for, you have the instant defeat specials, and then you have the percent damage reduction, 100%, regular blowaway stuff. If you're above 50%, you have to deal with 8 turns of despair, but if you're below 50%, you don't. So, again, if you're below 50%, you just don't have to deal with despair, but if you have, into Luffy, the Anniversary Super Sugo, you can just slap him as captain, and then you don't have to worry about the HP threshold, because you're just bypassing despair anyway. 6 turns of resilience, 5 turns of defense up, 6 turns of threshold, full immunity except defense down. Top row gets special reverse for 6 turns, then there's normal attacks only. If you remove the defense up, you are going to have to deal with an attack, and if you're below 3 times chain lock for 90%, that's only 1 time. Now, that's really not that big of a deal. If you're running a friend Shiryu anyway, you're going to get a 1.8 chain boost, or if you're using Blackbeard, you're going to get 1.6. So you're going to be well above a 3 times chain, even without a chain boundary. So if you remove the defense up, don't stress. But if you can auto-proc the Shiryu special in the final stage, you can just literally set defense to 0. Now, on turn 2, I plan on using the Sanji special to remove the barriers. Now, we're obviously using Luffy here. So he's getting the damage nullification removal, and he's getting the barrier removal in his kit. You can use his special twice, and that is going to remove 2 turns of the barrier. And then you can sort of tap. Now, I'm not removing the burn on turn 2. I'm actually going to utilize the burn to try and get low HP. The idea is to just sort of tap with my block orbs first. I shouldn't do that much damage. I can obviously use a Shiryu special probably here if I do take a lot of damage. I believe the burn is around 20,000, if I remember correctly. So you can sort of work it out with your HP thresholds. You have the chain boundary with Sanji as well, so you're not going to lose that much damage by hitting goods or greats. But if you hit a couple perfects, then you can move into the next stage, lose some HP, and then that way you'll be either below 50% or you will be below 20% for the auto procs. It really just depends on what the damage looks like. I'll have to test it as I go, but I can almost guarantee you that this will definitely work. So Sanji's going to rotate some orbs. You're going to have a couple characters that have matching orbs, one of them being your friend Captain Shiryu, so that way you can just guarantee the death hit with Shiryu. Remember, you're going to be in the invisibility state as well, so Shiryu's bypassing that barrier regardless. So there's a chance you probably don't even need Sanji, and you can just replace him with something else, maybe like, I don't know, like just a really good buff. Like that could definitely work. But I'm going to use Sanji here, see how I go. I might tweak the team and obviously replace him down the line, but I'll wait for the playthrough video to check that out. As for the final stage, we have Luffy for an attack boost. He has the chopper support to remove 2 turns of burn. That means that on the final stage, we won't have to worry about the burn. He's going to be our attack booster. Shiryu's setting defense to 0, which is great. Well, actually, I think Luffy's going to be our base stat booster because we can actually utilize Dull to be our attack boost. Dull's going to remove resilience. But again, if you have Blackbeard, you can literally just utilize Blackbeard in this spot, use his versatility, and he's going to remove the resilience as well. Blackbeard is just a perfect replacement for Dull if you guys don't have Dull. As for Kaido, he's again on this team as a conditional booster and an all buff. Again, he works so well under Shiryu if you are running double Shiryu to get that increased damage taken. So they're the teams that I'm going to be using for the boosted batch. If you guys are looking for replacements or have any thoughts, let me know in the comment section below while you're down there. Belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.